Good afternoon, parents, students, family, and faculty. If you don't know me, I'm Brody Bowen, the class treasurer. I'm here to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2021. I'd like to begin by expressing our gratitude on behalf of our class to the teachers, administrators, custodians, counselors, and other support staff who worked tirelessly, especially over the past year, to keep us safe and help us navigate a pandemic that upended all of our lives without sacrificing excellence in education. Special thanks also go out to our class advisors, Mrs. Carrie McCormick and Mr. Brian Topping, for tactfully guiding us through these past 4 years of planning, fundraising, and homecomings, even though we can never compete with the class of 2020. Here's the part of every commencement address where I'm supposed to ruminate on the vistas of possibility that lie before us, or I'm supposed to offer some advice. But the truth is, I'm no older, nor smarter, nor wiser than any one of these graduates here today. 5 years from now, some of us will have families, some will be in college, and others still will be just beginning lucrative and fulfilling careers. So I won't pretend to know the challenges we're facing, and I won't pretend to know how all of you should deal with your own. The only knowledge that I can impart to you is what high school has taught me. Although there are setbacks and exceptions, we are, for the most part, the writers of our own stories, the masters of our fates. So live for yourself, but don't be selfish. Take risks, but don't be reckless. Work hard, but don't forget to live. And when you think that you can't go on, remember that you're strong. You can. Accept your duality, and to paraphrase Nora Ephron, be the heroes and heroines of your lives, not the victims. Be kind, be compassionate, persevere, and congratulations, graduates. It is now my honor to introduce Skylar Spitzley to give her salutatory address.
Good afternoon. I am Skylar Spitzley, the class of 2021's class secretary and the salutatorian. We have been wandering the halls of Leonard E. Knight Middle School and High School for 12 years. So in theory, after 12 years of carrying books and a year without lockers, we are well prepared for a career in backpacking. I am honored to be here on this podium, welcoming and thanking every teacher, family member, distinguished guest, and of course, my fellow classmates for being here today. Today marks a milestone for all of us, a celebration for all the work we have put in over the years. Today is a graduation from high school. Even though it wasn't quite the high school experience that High School Musical franchise prepared me for, it was still an amazing and memorable experience with amazing friends and wonderful teachers. Today marks the day where we start our own journey to grow and to strive for bigger and better things. I, for one, just want to say how proud I am of everyone here. We have done something not many other graduates have done. We have graduated, persisted, and succeeded in a pandemic. Course content is one thing, but learning a virtual format and trying to navigate our lives amidst this pandemic is even harder. But yet, here we are. We are here on this football field about to receive our diplomas because we persevered. We have been through a lot over the past 4 years. This year alone, we went into the 2020-2021 school year with uncertainty and doubt. We haven't seen our entire class since before March of 2020. We've had to learn and adapt with in-person instruction and virtual learning. We lost Ben Humridge, a beloved and fellow classmate of ours, right near the holidays. And we've encountered many challenges and uncertainties regarding our senior year. Yet, I see all 97 faces that are a part of the class of 2021. So I am very proud and happy to see that everybody is here. There were many times during high school when I was trudging through murky waters. I was certain I wasn't going to make it through the day, but I still managed to get through it and emerge stronger than ever. Mr. Belil really emphasized this when every day I would come into his classroom freaking out about something and he would say, "Spitzley, just breathe." I think we can all take something away from those two words. We are all going to face a challenge at some point in life, and we're going to want to run away. But we can do anything if we just take a moment and breathe and try again. As we move forward in our lives, I hope there is something that keeps you moving through each day, just like Just Breathe got me through mine. To add on to this, Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus says, "Take chances, make mistakes, and get messy." If there was one thing to take away from high school, it's this. We can't live a life without taking risk, messing up, and trying again. There will be times when we have to forge our own path and deviate from the norm. These are the times of growth. From the shy and timid freshman I was to the persistent and determined senior I am, I know I have grown so much as a person over these last few years. As we move on to the next chapter of our lives, I challenge each and every one of you to do the same, to set goals, to try, and to grow. I am so proud of all of you for making it to a graduation in a year like this. Stay persistent and try new things as you venture through life. Congratulations to all the graduates of 2021. You have worked hard for this, so celebrate and rejoice because we did it. We graduated. And now I would like to introduce the class of 2021's valedictorian, Jordan Hitchens.
Fellow students, faculty members, family and friends, good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jordan Hitchens and I am the valedictorian of Ovid Elsie's class of 2021. First and foremost, I'd like to take a moment to extend my thanks to those in my life who've been my pillars of support these past 18 years, without whom I would not have the privilege to have earned this title. To my parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and extended family who have cheered me on all the way to the finish line where I stand here before you today. To the dedicated staff that have devoted so much of their time for the betterment of our education, who have also miraculously put up with so much of our nonsense. To my dearest friends I've made at Ovid Elsie over the years that always found a way to make coming to school almost bearable. And most importantly, to my sister Savannah, my role model, my inspiration, and the person who always pushes me to be the best version of myself I can be. I can safely say I wouldn't be where I am today without her to pick me up and dust me off when I fall, and I'm lucky to have her not only as a sister, but as a best friend. Now I'd like to recognize the incredible achievement that the class of 2021 has made today. We waited forever for this moment, counted down the months, weeks, days, even hours, and now the day that we've all been waiting for with anticipated breath is finally upon us. I always thought that when this day came, I would be entirely ecstatic, but as I reflect on our time here, I realize just how much of this I'm gonna miss. School dances, football games, spirit weeks, assemblies, all the small things that I didn't think twice about in the moment are things that we now leave behind as we move on with our lives. I never thought it'd be sad to say goodbye to Mr. Harder's constant attempts to trick unsuspecting students by telling them that their shoes are untied, or the blaring music that Miss Blank would fill the hallways with on Fridays. And while we didn't necessarily get to experience a typical senior year, we still made the most of our time here, and I believe that experience will stay with us forever. Something I've often heard from my parents, which I'm sure you all have too, is that we will miss this when it's gone. I never believed them, but they were 100% right. But while this day marks the end of our high school experience, it also signifies our first steps into bigger and better things. Now is the time to put in the work to build the lives that we want for ourselves. Whether that means pursuing higher education, entering the trades, or jumping straight into the workforce, the time has come to take on what life has to throw at us, armed with the education that we've dedicated the past 14 years of our lives to. It won't be easy, but nothing worth doing in life is. Angela Davis summed it up perfectly when she said, "Sometimes we have to do the work even though we don't yet see a glimmer on the horizon that it's actually going to be possible." I think that sentiment is important to keep in mind as we depart from high school to chase our dreams. Above all, this is the time to utilize the values of hard work and dedication that Ovid Elsie High School has instilled in us, to employ these valuable lessons in our pursuit of success. With the right amount of focus and dedication, I have no doubt that this graduating class can achieve anything we set out to. After all, society tells us we can do anything we want to do and be anything we want to be, and it's time we prove them right. So congratulations to the class of 2021 on this extraordinary accomplishment. You have earned it. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce the Ovid Elsie High School Band.
Let's hear it from Mrs. Ignash and our high school band. First time I've actually had to move the microphone up. I promised the students that I would only speak for 3 minutes, so I figured I'd better write it down like the students who spoke earlier did to make sure that I stay on point. First off, I'd like to thank everyone here for coming and supporting our young men and women graduating class of 2021. In all honesty, there were some moments recently when we weren't really sure this was actually going to happen. But here we are. Students, I just want to say thank you and congratulations. A little over 8 years ago, I got to meet these kiddos as they entered 4th grade in the fall of 2012. These little guys behind me here came to EE night full of joy and excitement about learning. And yes, Jackson Thornton was still taller than me. You fast forward a few years, 5 years later, they entered high school and they followed most of the traditions here. They started to excel in sports and FFA, band, robotics, and all the other things that they get into. And they were making names for themselves. And then in the spring of 2020, they were told they could no longer come to school. And ever since, schools everywhere have scrambled to make the best of this situation we've been in. These young men and women behind me had many high school experiences changed or canceled in the name of safety. Throughout all of these challenges, they learned to persevere, be more independent, but also to ask for help. They had to self-manage their day and their time, and they have not just succeeded, but they have excelled. And they have also learned a real important lesson, that during a pandemic, when there's a toilet paper shortage, those McDonald's napkins come in real handy. Always get a few extra. Goodness. This past year was a great challenge, a challenge you will tell your grandchildren about in the years to come. And it will sound something like this. I had to walk 3 miles up to school uphill both ways in snow and yada yada. Or maybe it'll actually be a little bit more in reality. I had to teach myself how to do pre-calculus. And when I needed help from a teacher, I had to email them and hope they responded in the next 2 days. Anyway, I could just hear you saying, you kids got it easy. You could ask a teacher for help. They'd walk over and actually show you how to do it. You know, our students have been through a lot this year, and so have our teachers. And I just want to give a quick thank you to all of our teachers who decided that we were able to make it here today. They're behind our school board. We can give a little round of applause for our teachers as well for helping our kids make through. This is definitely going to be an experience that you students can all look back on, and you'll have some memories for sure. I personally would like to thank you for working with our school and our staff. You were told to wash your hands way more than you actually do, clean desks between each hour, accept schedule changes that happen every other week. You weren't allowed to use lockers, and now are completely prepared for that backpack career. You did all these things without complaint, but we know it's been frustrating. Thank you for your patience, your diligence, and your willingness to work with us this year. Your effort to always do what has been asked of you, even when it didn't make sense to you, did not go unnoticed and is greatly appreciated. I would dare say these young men and women had to work through the most challenging educational experience we've all had or seen in some time. Some made it look easy, some made it easily, and some struggled, and they made it. However, we also know that this has been hard on many of our students when it wasn't easy for them. But I'm excited for all of you. I'm excited to hear about all the cool things that you leave here and go do. I'm excited to see the person that you become. So one last time, I'd like to hear it for the class of 2021. Now I get to go off script. Oh yeah. Stays up there. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today. He's a retired teacher from Ovid Elsie. He put in a lot of time, a lot of hours working with our students over the years. And he's the king of the Tote Day. He is the best dancer that's ever got into education this side of the Mississippi. I'd like to give a big Marauder welcome back to Mr. Scott Sheedlo. Thank you, Mr. Tokar. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be with you. Give me 1 second. Class of 2021, look at you! You look great! Congratulations. I am so happy for all of you. And grateful. You've given me two special gifts. First, in 2018-2019, you were the last class of students that I had in sophomore English at Ovid Elsie after 24 years of teaching here. As it turns out, it was the last normal school year before the pandemic. It was a really good year. The way that you treated me, I just appreciate so much. And now you've invited me back as the guest speaker at your commencement. What an unexpected honor. I'm grateful for both gifts. So as I thought about what I might say in a commencement address, two problems emerged. For one, as I looked over the program for today's event, I realized there are a lot of people here who I know and who have meant a great deal to me over the years. All of you seniors whom I taught, the many former students who are here supporting these seniors, even some parents and siblings of this class who are some of my former students, and so many Ovid Elsie staff with whom I worked over the years. And yet, there are some, even a few graduates in your class, that don't know me. How can I speak to all of you? It is important to me that this speech be inclusive. The other problem is I'm not sure I can meet your expectations of a traditional commencement address. Let's face it, these speeches typically contain inspirational messages or impart life wisdom. For some reason, I'm often skeptical on both of those. And yet, I've accepted this invitation, and I do really want to do a good job. It's an important day, and it deserves a good speech. For the first problem, to be inclusive, I've decided to go with a crowd participation tactic. Now, if you don't feel comfortable participating, it's fine. However, it's a simple call and response that we will repeat a few times, and you are all invited to join in. I'll get to that. For the second problem, I tried to think about what the class of, it seems so silly to say this now, see to what the class of 2021 might want me to talk about on their special day. It was Toth Day. I knew it was Toth Day. And I thought maybe even they would want me to sing the Toth Day song. Because that's what I'm planning on doing. If you don't know what Toth Day is, I promise to explain. However, this speech about Toth Day starts with a few thoughts about making plans. I would guess, class of 2021, you've been asked many times already about your plans after graduation, right? I remember that question was really common and uncomfortable when I graduated. Personally, I didn't think I had a strong plan that was, going to lead to a good life. Since that time, I've written a lot of plans. Teachers tend to do that. But do you know how few of those plans have worked out the way I expected? I can only guess, but it's a really small number. At one point in my life, I encountered this Yiddish saying, "Man plans, God laughs." That bit of wit has often been a comfort to me in the midst of these surprising, sometimes disappointing outcomes from all of my planning. So I want to work that into the speech a few times, which leads me to the crowd participation part. At various points, I will refer to the saying by calling out the first part, man plans, and asking you to respond with the second part, God laughs. However, before we do, allow me to update the language to be a bit more inclusive. I will actually say humans plan and ask you to respond with the universe laughs. Let's try it. I am counting on you guys. Humans plan, the universe laughs. One more time. Humans plan, the universe laughs. All right, you're doing great. Okay, so let's get back to Toth Day. Here's a brief history. I should say this is perhaps the least planned out thing I ever did as a teacher. Toth is just an acronym for Top of the Hill. At some point, I started to call Wednesday Toth Day and wish my students happy Toth Day every week. This really started because one Wednesday morning I realized I was already exhausted and I had 3 more days to work. So I tried one of those moves where you try to put a positive spin on a problem. I thought if I can get past Wednesday, Thursday and Friday are a little easier because the weekend is coming. So in the mood of sharing, I explained to my classes that fateful day. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little tired. I don't know how we can make it through the next 3 days. And then like Captain Obvious, I make my silly little spin. But Wednesday is the top of the hill. And once we get over the top, it's all downhill. All right, so this became sort of a thing. You know, I'd be like, Happy Toast Day! Woo! Did you enjoy your ride? Or I would do, this was my favorite. Happy Toast Day! Enjoy the view from the top of the hill. I should have counted on wind, but so anyways, this whole thing kind of snowballed. Soon I was exchanging greetings in the hall with students. Happy Toast Day, Mr. Sheedlo, and to you. Over the years, I've even received emails from former students. Hey, Mr. Sheedlo, just wanted to wish you a happy Toast Day. It's all very simple, but strangely reassuring. But you know, one might wonder, why was I so tired on Wednesdays? Isn't it true that if you love your job, you never work a day in your life? All I can say is that it is quite possible, in my opinion, to love what you do and still find it exhausting. For example, I know I love teaching. I still teach at Baker College in Owasso. But here's something I hadn't planned for when I became a teacher. When I was a sophomore in college and a no-prep major because I didn't have a career plan at that point, I happened to take one of those Myers-Briggs personality tests. I discovered for the first time that I'm a pretty extreme introvert. For those unfamiliar with the introvert-extrovert spectrum, introverts, regardless of their strengths, weaknesses, and unique qualities, tend to find social interaction with other people draining. It doesn't mean introverts don't like people, just that they are easily worn out by too many people. Extroverts, on the other hand, generally tend to be energized by social interaction. It takes a lot longer to wear out an extrovert in a crowd than an introvert. In fact, if you want to have some fun with this, take a look around after the graduation's over. The introverts will all be looking at their watches and inching toward the car to leave. The extroverts will be the ones who need to say hello to everyone they know and take a lot of pictures. Sorry, introverts, I think I just blew your cover. Anyways, it was a pretty important self-discovery to understand that I'm an introvert. However, it never occurred to me to consider this insight into my career planning. So, at the end of my sophomore year, I decided teaching would be my major, and I prepared for a career that would require me to walk into a building every day where I would interact with 150 or more people every day. Humans plan, the universe laughs. As I said, there have been so many examples in my life where the plans, in retrospect, were not very rational or well thought out, or simply not destined to work out the way I thought they would. I won't go through them all, but here's one more that's too good to pass up. Do you know where the first teaching job I applied for was located? Los Angeles, California. The Unified School District of Los Angeles. Let's think about this. I mean, look around you at the fields. How do you think I would have done in La La Land? Fortunately, they didn't call back. Humans plan, the universe laughs. That's right, that's right. Okay, so I'm teaching here and I'm celebrating Toast Days every week with my students. What started out as a spontaneous accident became a weekly plan, a routine. And at some point it occurs to me one Wednesday on the way to school that if I sing the Beatles' birthday song and substitute Toast Day for birthday, that would be a fun little wrinkle on our Toast Day routine. So I did that. Students seemed to think it was funny and probably thought hearing me sing to them Happy Toast Day was better than listening to me talk about comma rules or something. So that one stayed, but I saved it for special occasions because it was embarrassing and perhaps riled up the students more than was educationally sound. I mean, every Wednesday somebody would ask, are you going to sing today? Now, if you don't know the tune, the Beatles' birthday song is on YouTube, but don't pull out your phone. Okay, it's just a fast blues. It starts with a guitar riff that goes, na 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 na. And then they come in and go, they say it's your birthday, na 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 na, it's my birthday too, yeah. All right, so you can imagine me standing in front of 6 classes a day singing, na 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 na, you say it's your toast day, na 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 na, it's my toast day too, yeah. You guys are cheap. I'm gonna sing the whole thing, I promise you. But I'm thinking to myself, what have I gotten myself into, right? Humans plan, The universe laughs. You got it. But here's why I kept this whole Toast Day routine going. It helped me get through the week, and I like to think it helped the students do the same. Right or wrong, here's my take of what was going on. That workload, that grind, that pain, that suffering, that boredom, that constraint of personal freedom, perhaps even humiliation or embarrassment, or in my case, that draining social interaction of the school day, all those sufferings, large and small, that made it tough for us all to get through the school week, we would take a moment and share that, and then share the hope that it will get easier on Thursday and Friday. And it helped. Even though Thursday and Friday were probably just as much work as any other days, mentally, I think we all thought it was a little bit easier. So class of 2021, before I sing you the Toast Day song one more time, in honor of your graduation and all your efforts climbing the school hill, let me leave you with one more thought. All this talk about plans going awry is not to suggest that you should not make plans or go after goals and dreams. There can be great hope in making plans and striking out toward a better life. It can be life-affirming and raise the spirits and well-being of many, especially if those plans put others first. All I'm saying is that you don't have to feel bad if you don't have a plan, or if you're not confident in the one that you've made, or be ashamed if the ones you make don't work out. Why? Humans plan, the universe laughs. Amen. So seniors, the next time someone walks up to you and asks you what your plans are after graduation, go ahead and tell them the truth. I don't care if you say, I'm not sure, or I eventually plan to be president of the United States, or I'm going to stay in this area and work and raise my kids. Or even if you say, I'm going to Los Angeles to make my dreams come true. Because no matter how they look at you or what they say, you do have the perfect response, right? Humans plan, the universe laughs. You are so good. Graduates, you're ready for the next step. I watched so many of you make it through the struggles of the first part of high school to help each other through good times and bad. And you helped me through so many days with your kindness and decency and perseverance. And for the last year and a half, you've done what no Ovid Elsie High School class before you has ever done. You completed high school while weathering the full disruptive force of a global pandemic. You are ready to climb the next hill. I believe that with every fiber of my being. But before you do, first, enjoy the view from the top of this hill and the ride down the other side. And when the universe laughs, laugh along too. To conclude, for the last time, here is the Toast Day song for you. All right, now I'm going to ask for a little bit because it's fast. So if you get a little beat going for me, let's just try that. You're all Ringo style. 1, 2, 3, 4. Na-na-na-na-na, you say it's a Toast Day. Na-na-na-na-na, it's my Toast Day too, yeah. Na-na-na-na-na, you say it's a Toast Day. Na-na-na-na-na, we're gonna have a good time. Na-na-na-na-na, I'm glad it's your Toast Day. Na-na-na-na, happy Toast Day to you. That's it for the last equation. Thank you, everybody.
We need to talk about the order in which I get to go. Congratulations, you guys. I know it's been said many times in many different ways, but to persevere through all this, I'm truly, truly proud of all of you. And it's nice to see your faces. How about the fact that we can take masks off for a while? So I'm kind of anticipating that the caps flying and maybe a few masks flying with it. But let's see. All right, here we go. Family, friends, members of the Board of Education, faculty, and guests. I'm honored to stand before you and have the pleasure of presenting the 54th graduating class from Ovid Elsie High School. The members of this class have fulfilled the requirements for graduation as specified by the state of Michigan and our Board of Education, and upon recommendation by the faculty, are entitled to and shall be awarded diplomas symbolizing their attainment. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the faculty of Ovid Elsie High School, and on behalf of the Board of Education, it is my privilege to present to you the class of 2021.
You guys got to give it up for Mr. Sheedlo one more time, though. We're in that kind of mode right now. We're down to our last mic. It's just been that kind of year. Nothing wants to work correctly, so we're moving this over here, so be 1 second. You guys ready? I have the honor of introducing the first graduate this year. It's a little different than what we've done in years past. For those of you that don't know, in the middle of our year, we lost one of our students to a tragic car accident, Ben Humrich. And so we talked to our students and we talked to his family about what's the best way to honor Ben on graduation day, the way we have with many of our students that we've lost in the past. And we talked about doing a moment of silence. And our students said, no, that's not what we're doing. And so we got something we're going to do a little different. So when we announce our first graduate, we're going to make as much noise as possible so maybe he can hear us up there. So today receiving our first diploma is Joe Humrich on behalf of our first graduate, Ben Humrich.
Walker. Michaela Kelly. Kaylee Gingrich. Jordan Hitchens. Skylar Spitzley. Mary Sopsey. Emily Sopsey. Carly Witt. Keegan Orm. Emma Woodbury. Ellie Woodbury. Evan Hare. Tyler Burt. Tristan Ziola. Chase Pierce. Carly Pontac. Zane Baez. Brandon Zaruna. Ian Hare. Gavin Levitt. Colby Pontac. Justin Poley. Colby Good. Jasmine Sun. Steven Ziedman. Josh Swender. Kristen Densmore. Cameron Arnett. Jackson Thornton. Cameron Cuthbert. Noah Fahey. Amber Dorn. Ani Rademacher. Madison Larson. Brianna Smith. Valerie Saul. Allison Annette Reppenhagen. Chandler Whitford. Drew Maney. Sydney Ray Godfrey. Madison Cunningham. Brody Bowen. Taylor Stinson. Hannah Papilla. Sylvia Avanzi. Olivia Bensinger. Kyla Dieter. Jillian Rose Bean. Elizabeth Kate Hoffer. Over my house. Brianna Schneider. Jasmine Bluemaster. Chloe Davis. Cheyenne Marie Tessman.
Hayden Hernandez. Colton Towsley Wagner. Elizabeth Rose Underhill. Rachel Rosman. Alexandria Sump. Callum Holly. Mitchell Ross Dysinger. Carson Gregory. Kaden Leslie. Brian Martinez. Haley Torrey. Mercy Coleman. Annabelle Rocha Cole. Amanda Bensinger. Brooke Lynn Ladisky. Abigail Cooper. Callan Burns. Michael Olger. Cameron Mangles. Hunter Sheffield. Cecilia Aldridge. Alex Wilson. Benjamin Cook. Xander Vaklovic. Damian Garris. Brennan Tripfelner. Edward Joseph Salinas. Danielle Burnett. Kyla Mirabella Charvat. Jonas Neumeyer. Luke Spitzley. Corbin Kelly. Jeremy Yanka. And Alexis Stott.
Teachers, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, our fellow graduates. Hello, I'm Emily Sopsey, the class of 2021 Vice President. And hey, I'm Mary Sopsey, the class historian, but most of you probably know us as the Sopsey twins. Before we close this afternoon's ceremony, we would like to say thank you all for coming to celebrate the class of 2021. We know that the two of us are the only things standing in your way of being able to leave the stadium, so we're going to keep this short. Our tassels may now be sitting on the left side of our funny hats, as we are filled with all sorts of different emotions: excitement, pride, nervousness, or maybe just pure relief to be done. But we must not forget to look back and thank everyone who helped get us here today. To all the parents, grandparents, siblings, and guardians, we would like to say thank you for your sacrifice, guidance, and support over these years. And I need to say a special thank you to this person beside me, and you too. I don't know where I would be without you. To all the friends, to all the friends and family members of the graduates here today, thank you for believing in us. To the administration and staff, thank you for keeping us safe this year. And finally, thank you to each of our teachers who are the real reason we are able to make it here today. We would not have been able to reach this point without you. Thank you for dealing with our class, even though that probably wasn't easy. A special thank you to Mr. Topping and Mrs. McCormick. Thank you for being the best class advisors. We appreciate everything you have done over the past 4 years. Although this ceremony means that the door is closing, it also shows us that another door awaits. A door full of opportunities, chances, challenges, and pursuits. Just think about all that has brought us here today, all the classroom memories, like the roof blowing off the school freshman years, listening to Mr. Sheedlo sing the Toad Day song, and reading Jane Eyre in Miss Lawrence's class for what felt like years. All the laughs we shared, all the late night studying, all the stress, all the grades, and all the mistakes, and all the friendships. All of our efforts over the years have led us to this day. And fellow Ovid Elsie alumni, we are excited to see where the world takes you. Throughout this year, we have faced many challenges, yet we have adapted and overcome so much, and this resilience will stick with us as we enter the next stages of our lives. Again, thank you all for coming. We hope you have a great rest of your day, and fellow classmates, we have so much to look forward to, and we both wish you the very best in all of your future endeavors. Enjoy not having to come to school tomorrow. Congratulations to the class of 2021. We did it. 2021 graduates, please rise. Get your caps ready. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you all.
I'm so excited!